All right, everybody, let's now go ahead and dive into an update for you guys because I'm excited about this event. Right now, joining us is Amanda Storer. She is the professor at Tyler Junior College, or I guess a professor at Tyler Junior College. So they're excited to announce the On Board for Adventure, an airport experience for individuals with autism event on Sunday, April the 26th. This is going to be happening at Tyler Pounds Regional Airport. First of all, welcome in here on the East Texas Now Desk. We're so glad to have you. Explain to us the purpose of this event.
Yeah, so we really recognize that there was kind of a lack of opportunities for families to kind of try out travel.
Okay.
And so we were seeing in different areas, especially up north, and it was kind of trickling down into our areas, but we wanted to provide families an opportunity that maybe they were fearful of travel and maybe they didn't know what the experience would look like for them. And so the purpose is to provide families an opportunity to go through each step of the process and getting a boarding pass, going through TSA security, and then going into the gate area, going down a jet bridge, all of those things. And so that's what we're hopeful to provide, so that if there is a hiccup in behaviors or whatever, that they will know where that hiccup might be and they can work on that before they actually do choose to travel.
Of course. Well, what makes airports overwhelming for neurotypical people?
Yeah, I think, well, I mean, even for typical people, sometimes it can be really, it can be loud and just
Very
really
overwhelming.
crowded, and just the lighting and everything can be overwhelming, and
Yeah.
sounds and all of those things, and just the newness. And so, and especially if people don't have a home airport that they travel out of, so they'd be going to different airports, then it may be just something new and foreign. And so that, and as well as just faces. And so, if we can cut down any of those, any of those triggers and be like, okay, so this is the process, and regardless of the face that's behind the process, you at least know what's going to happen. And so we're able to do that through this activity. We also provide a social story to participants before, so that families can be looking through that ahead of
Right.
time with pictures of the actual airport and the process there, so that they can go ahead and be prepared.
Yeah, that's really nice, especially preparing ahead of time.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about preparing rather than, rehearsing. Rehearsing an airport experience to help children on the spectrum prepare for future flights. Do you think that this is beneficial?
I do think it's beneficial. So, when we first were thinking about bringing this to our area, and this is our second year to do it, and we're hoping to, do it annually, and maybe even ramp it up to semi-annually. And so, but we were looking at the events that were happening all over the nation and hearing stories and testimonies from families and just going, we didn't really realize that this could be possible, or we didn't realize that this was going to be a trigger, this part of the process. And so now we can work on this. And so whereas we had families that were their testimonies where they would say he wouldn't make it through the gate area or the security area, and so we figured out ways that we could work with TSA and TSA would work with us, and then we tried it again, or they just won't make it down the jet bridge because it's a narrow tunnel and it turns and you're like, where is this going? And
Right.
so just the unknown. And so being able to try it once, and if it doesn't work the first time, then you try it again, or they start working in the community with things that maybe simulate that as well. So
Of course. Well, let's talk about the event features. What will
Yeah.
families experience on this day?
Yeah, so the fun part about this day is that it is a low stress environment. So our airport is beautiful in that way, in that we don't have the hustle and the bustle of the typical airports. And so we're hoping to showcase that and show that our families don't have to travel all the way to Dallas or Houston and start their journey there. They can start here where it is more low key, it is less stress for everyone, and then they can transfer within the airport and not have to go through the giant security system of our other airports in the Dallas and Houston areas. And so we're really hoping to showcase that. We have students from TJC, from the PTA program, from a student organization, our Apache Arrows are going to be there. We also have some behavioral therapists in the area and just other people who have a heart for people and families with autism and other disabilities. And so they're going to be there to support as well all the way through the process. And, the real one of the most important things that I feel like came out of last year, we're really excited for this year again, is just TSA and the American Envoy workers that were there volunteering their time, and the City of Tyler airport workers. They were all just blown away at how helpful it was for them
Oh,
to
yeah.
be able to have this experience. And so they were like, thank you so much for bringing this to us. And so that we were able to put into practice what we've read in words in training.
Of course.
And so it was really neat, and we're
Oh, I
excited for
bet.
them.
I
Yeah.
bet. Well, you just answered, my next few questions, but let's talk about, this isn't TJC's first time putting on this event. And speaking a little bit more on that, tell me how it all got started and how it's grown over the years.
Yeah, so I am an advisor for a student organization at Tyler Junior College, and so we have the beauty of being able to have student organizations that are able to, ask for funds to do things on campus and in the community. And so we utilize those funds as our student org to figure out ways that we can do campus events, but also community events, and provide our students with community service. And so we've done that. We do that in all different ways. And so, but this was something that we were like, nobody else is doing anything like this. We want to get this started. And so we started this last year, and it just continues to grow, and the need for it is still there. And so, and just everybody is excited and jumps on board anytime we try to do, anything out in the community like this.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it's a really cool event to, jumpstart, a bunch of these, kids that might need that calming environment. Because trust me, I don't know if anybody's been through DFW or Love Field. It can be overwhelming. I've had gates change on me within 5 minutes of me
for
boarding
sure.
my flight. And I can't even imagine, not understanding or not knowing what it's going to be like in a different place or a different area. And this is a good way to practice. So let's get those need to know details. Let's talk about date, time, location, registration, anything we need to know.
Yeah, so we're going to be out there on Sunday, and so we have two different groups, and so this Sunday, April 26th, and so we have two groups going, one at 11 and one at 1, and so we do have a few slots left open. You do have to, register through our job forms that we have and things like that. And so they can reach out to me if they want to do that, and I will send them the forms. We have to give information to TSA because you are going through security, and
Right.
so they have to give you a boarding pass. And so you do get a boarding pass, you get to keep it. And so it's like the whole entire process.
Cute.
And so it is really cute. You can bring bags with you as if you were going to travel, and go through that whole process. And so, really my email, ASTO, the number 2 at tjc.edu is the best way to get it.
All
So,
right. Well, is there anything else that we need to know before we go?
I don't think so. We're just really excited, and we hope to see you all again next year for the same event.
Awesome. Well, seems like it's going to be a lot of fun, and a lot of help is coming their way too as well. So hopefully everybody gets to join. If you are needing anything, again, her email is going to be ASTO2, the number, at tjc.edu. Thank you so much for joining us, Miss Amanda Storer, everybody. I'm sure we'll chat with you next time or next year.
Let's hope so. Yeah.